I think
The
so,
FAA
too.
says 5,000
too.
pilots lied on medical records to hide conditions that would prevent them
Steve.
from sitting in the cockpit. 600 commercial, one failed to disclose sleep apnea. Many veterans' thoughts. And let me get that. Okay, you go ahead. You clicked it and then I clicked it. There we go.
I was getting rid of it. Yeah.
Yep. So 5,000 pilots are suspected of hiding major health issues. They're getting
Whoa,
Look at that hair.
Go
Whoa,
back
did
to
you see that hair?
Go back. Up. What is this?
What?
which part? The picture?
No,
I know you guys haven't been in
Fly-
an airliner in a long time,
that-
but that's exactly what it looks like.
Is that AI
that
flying that
Pigpen?
thing?
2 FOs with
This is one of this is an
one
art,
whose
artsy
head is turned
newspaper.
the
That's
wrong
their
way.
Well, they're
picture.
wearing their hats, so we know who they fly for.
Big D.
So as I understood it, the
Mother D to you.
Dude, does Big D wear the hat in the cockpit too? With their submariner uniform? Submariner?
Wombat wouldn't know. He wouldn't know.
Wouldn't know, but I have seen pictures of people at that airline wearing their hat flying.
Do they do the crush like the old
No,
fighter
they
crush
turn
with
it
the
backwards.
headset?
'Cause they turn into a machine.
Yeah.
I've
You wouldn't
flown
understand,
wartime
man.
missions in
It's
peacetime,
crazy.
peacetime missions in wartime. I've been shot at, looked at, run over. I'll get you there safely. Come on. All right. Sorry, Douglas.
I need
No
to come up
problem.
with a better captain.
I don't want to be in the one in charge of trying to make this serious anymore, though.
No,
Oh,
it's not
dude.
worth it.
All right, back
This
to
whole
Steve.
thing, don't get me started about
Lies.
this whole thing.
So
This
what
is-
what we've got is pilots who are getting VA benefits for serious disabilities, who are flying in commercial and civilian, and probably aren't eligible based on their disabilities. Does that sound right? Or not?
That's
right?
what the
That's
article
what-
sounds
Yeah,
like.
this happened before where a couple guys actually went to jail for it or got
Mhm.
probation where they had like PTSD, right? That's a disqualifier because
Sure.
the FAA doesn't understand mental
Sure.
health.
Sure.
So you claim
Among other
PTSD
things.
coming out of service and then you don't disclose it, and that's the crime.
That's a crime.
And then the medical records from your VA claim the fact that you're getting money and getting benefits then gets
Which are
discovered
supposed
by
to
the
be
FAA.
not
Well, does
like
it,
they're not supposed to cross those streams, though, right?
the
Your
issue
medical-
is that
I'm not.
there's a whole
justifying them,
form.
I'm saying.
The form asks you, FAA Med Express specifically asks you if you're now currently getting disability benefits from the VA. And if you say no, and they find out you said you meant yes, you might go straight to jail.
My question for you
Or-
is: has it always been that way, though? Because I don't remember on my early med
Well,
forms
no, because
that
it
question
used to
being that
be
way.
no, because it used to be paper. Now that it's digital, I can tell you, like at drill weekend now,
Yep.
in the
Nope,
military,
you're right.
they
100%.
always tell you, hey, don't forget to disclose when you go out to your civilian doc, because now the system pulls anytime your social is tied to it. Now, is that a HIPAA violation? I don't know, but
Not when the
the
government
systems
does it.
all talk.
Sorry.
And now that the systems all talk, people that were
Banner.
trying to avoid, can you please let me talk?
Sorry.
Not just the systems talk, but let me talk. People are getting in trouble because they didn't disclose on the form. Because if they had disclosed, sometimes it's a special issuance, sometimes it's a couple extra questions, and sometimes you just don't get a medical until you figure it out. Do I agree with this? Depends on what it is.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I was gonna say.
I mean, it just depends. It's like everything else. It depends. I think you should be honest. I will never encourage anybody to lie. But I also think that the FAA should do a better job so that people don't feel like they have to lie. And that, you know, if you can show it, the process needs to be streamlined so that people don't get grounded so easily. Then they would be more honest. And we could actually address mental health instead of trying to hide it, which is what we have now. People try to hide.
But it's more than PTSD, right? I mean,
No, it's just an
not-
example. I mean,
Yeah.
like
That's an-
sleep apnea.
That's an
was another
extreme
one. Like,
example. you
sleep
know.
apnea is another one, right? Where you
Yeah.
say, hey, I couldn't sleep. I had sleep apnea. You get a 30% disability. I'm getting paid, but I'm not telling the FAA because I don't have a
Everyone goes
continuing
through
problem and I don't think it's a problem or whatever. So, yeah, stuff like that. But it still should be streamlined to where, look, I show you here's the documentation. I'm still good to go. I'm not going to die in flight. Here's your medical.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I have 30%
Oh boy,
disability.
here we go.
What?
Gonky's going to jail.
No, I mean,
I mean, you claimed it, right? I mean, you
Yeah,
told them, right? And it's not for anything that would affect you flying an airliner.
no, and
Same with me. I have way more than 30%. It has nothing to do that's going to affect me flying an airliner. But I do remember when I first came out of the military, and I'm glad you cleared that up, Mover, because I'm like, I don't remember it being a thing. But it was when I first came out of the military, it was paper. And then it switched over, and then I do remember it. And then there was that big hubbub where they did jail these people and fire people.
What do you mean? What do you mean paper? You mean there's
like
no
when you initially
VA records were like your medical
like
records
when I
used to be paper.
started, like you would walk in just like a doctor and be like, nope, and then it went to a system, and that's when they started asking the VA.
Your medical records used to also be paper too. I remember going from Vance to Randolph, wherever, and you lugged the big sealed file. And it had like the thing, the tamper-proof thing, and like you couldn't touch it. You just had to hand it off. And then I tried to get it when I left Tyndall, and they're like, we don't have that anymore because it's all been scanned in and your medical record's digital. And then when you go to apply for VA benefits, now it's even easier because they just go, well, if it's in your file, we've already got it. I don't have to provide, all this stuff.
As much, for sure. Yeah. But I mean, I made them, same thing. When I got off active duty, I made them print it.
Yeah, I did too.
They printed
Yep.
like a medical record, and they're like,
And
really
sure?
now we can put it on a disc. I'm like,
I got them both.
Yeah,
print it.
Yeah,
you can do that.
I mean, I can see both sides. I can see some guys trying to get like all the money, and then I can see some guys are like just an honest mistake, like because like it's like you said, Mover. It's two separate. It's almost like two separate authorities that talk. It needs to be like, well, if it's your flight medical, it's your flight medical. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
and that's the thing too, is like even on the military side, you'll go see somebody out in town, right? You step on a nail, you get a tetanus shot. But when it's time to go get your medical or next drill weekend or whatever, you've forgotten about it, because it says, hey, in the last 12 months, how many times have you gone to a provider? And you're like, I don't think I've been in the hospital. I'm fine.
Yeah.
But you forget about, the little 10 minutes, to get the tetanus shot or whatever.
Sure.
People do forget. And that's why it's only like, so it's 5,000, but of the 5,000, it was like 60 people that actually got emergency revocations of their certificates. And that's out of hundreds of thousands. Like we're talking teeny tiny percents of people affected by this. This is not like cataclysmic. We're going to have a new pilot shortage. This is just,
and even out of the 5,000, they said what, like 600 hold an ATP? 60 hold an ATP.
60 had revocations. I don't know about the ATP.
But I think only like, I thought I read somewhere it was like 600 or even air transport pilots. So
I don't know.
I mean, if you're, sorry.
Go ahead.
I mean, even outside of the VA benefits, I mean, I've flown with enough guys who, as pilots in general, you don't like to even talk about medical stuff, right? Because if you lose your medical, you kind of lose your job, which could be kind of a Debbie Downer, right? And exactly, man. And if if you hide, I don't think hiding things is anything new on the pilot side, or maybe just not divulging all information might be a better.
That was a JAG episode.
Was it?
Remember the JAG episode where the guy that he goes on the stand and he's like, read from left to right, and he reads it, and it was I fly Navy, because they changed the thing on him, but he had it memorized.
Yes.
Oh, Harmon Rapp got him.
Dang,
got him.
Dude. Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. You're going to have Harmon Rapp in court with you.
Right. So I mean,
who has night blindness himself.
It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, is it wrong? Yes, but I mean,
yeah.
But dude, that story in military aviation is as old as time, right? Of guys, doing things to get through and whatever it takes to get through a physical so they can go fly. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'll tell you what, like that shows a lot of dedication to want to go do something, right? I mean, there were guys in World War II that couldn't read, didn't have the right vision, they're memorizing stuff, but they want to go fight for their country. Like, kind of hats off, man. Honestly, like, sorry. Now civilian world, flying passengers, different animal, right? I mean, and if we're trying to maliciously, falsify things so you get more money, different animal. But like, so I think that's part of the problem. Yeah.
Don't lie. Yeah. Movers. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, just don't lie. I mean,
don't lie.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't lie. If you make a mistake, own up to it. Don't lie.